Good morning. Open Heaven, the 4th of February 2022, Friday, Living in Glory Part 1. Memory verse, Arise, shine. For thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. Isaiah 60 verse 1. Bible reading, the book of Mark chapter 5 verse 25-34. And a certain woman, which had an issue of blood 12 years, 26. And had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse, 27. When she had heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. 28. For she said, If I may touch but his clothes, I shall be whole. 29. And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. 30. And Jesus, immediately knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press, and said, Who touched my clothes? 31. And his disciples said unto him, Thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, Who touched me? 32. And he looked round about to see her that had done this thing. 33. But the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. 34. And he said unto her, Daughter, thy faith hath made thee whole. Go in peace, and be whole of thy plague. It is difficult to describe God's glory, as it is a combination of the great power, splendor, and holiness that accompany God's presence, as well as its effects on man. Glory is one of the major attributes of God. It is a manifestation of His presence. Since man was created in the image of God, glory was originally part of his nature. However, when man embraced sin, the inherent glory of God departed. Romans 3:23 therefore says, For all have sinned, and come short of the glory of God. Sin did not only tamper with man's glory, it wreaked more havoc by also producing shame. A glorious life is so wonderful that Genesis 2:25 said of Adam and Eve, And they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. Though Adam and Eve were physically naked, they were covered with glory. That was why they did not know shame. It was absolutely impossible for them to experience shame. However, in Genesis 3:7-10, after sin entered, fear gripped them. They suddenly discovered they were naked and had to hide due to shame. From the fall of man in the Garden of Eden to date, every human being who ever lived without being born again wallowed in the realm of shame. According to Proverbs 3:35, glory is the opposite of shame. Quite simply, glory is the atmosphere of heaven on earth. Glory is both the beauty and power of God. It was lost at Eden, but was regained at Calvary. Jesus came to redeem mankind and give those who accept Him the hope of glory. According to Romans 5:2, today's memory verse tells us to arise and shine because, with the presence of God's glory, nothing can hinder the rising of a child of God. I therefore pray for you. Today, you will rise and begin to shine, in Jesus' name. There is nothing glorious about sickness, poverty, a sinful lifestyle, backsliding, bondage, and failure. Children of God must be determined to live above these problems, swimming daily in glory. Today, our Bible reading shows a classic example of a person who encountered Jesus Christ and was relocated from the realm of wallowing in shame to that of swimming in glory. Beloved, come to Jesus today and surrender all to Him so you can also become a candidate for God's glory. Colossians 1:27. Prayer point. Prayer points for Open Heavens, the 4th of February 2022. Father, please let your glory fill me. Turn my shame to glory, in Jesus' name.
Thank you for watching today's Open Heaven devotional message.